Welcome to another installment of CWC Devotions. It's my privilege to be able to share with you today. I'm going to offer several passages of Scripture and a few challenges to you on a topic that I believe is essential to the Christian life: humility. Let's jump right in. Scripture says in Isaiah 6:1, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple." The part of that verse that really makes me understand the importance of pride versus humility is in the first part. King Uzziah would represent to us worldly success and glory. But in the year King Uzziah died, or we might say the year pride died, success, accomplishment died, I saw the Lord. He was high and exalted. The year pride dies in our hearts, we can see God clearly, high and lifted up. You see, you're never more Christ-like than when you are humble. Humility is the essence of all the other virtues. Humility is at the core of anything that's truly holy. Without humility, you can't fellowship with the Father. Isaiah 57:15 says, "For this is what the high and lofty one says, He who lives forever, whose name is holy. I will live in a high and holy place, but also with him who is contrite and lowly in spirit, to revive the spirit of the lowly and to revive the heart of the contrite." Revival, then, begins with humility. If we want to see change in our world, it begins with a humble people. Grace only comes when we humble ourselves. James says in chapter 4, verse 6, "But he gives us more grace." That's why Scripture says God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. The word opposes literally means to resist with force. Can you picture for a moment someone coming toward you and you pushing them back? It's not just standing there, it's resistance. When Scripture says God opposes the proud, he is resisting the proud with force. Maybe we would picture Satan being fought out of heaven because of his pride. We like to picture it maybe with blood and sweat, and Michael fought him out of the holy city. But Jesus had a first-hand account, and it was this: "I saw Satan fall like lightning out of heaven." So the order, pride, boom, gone. You see, without humility, there is no change. Humility is the substructure of all change and transformation, and that was Satan's problem. You'll never change until you're humble enough to know that you need to change. The proud are not only resisted by God, but Scripture says they are disgraced. Disgraced. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom, Scripture says. So you could say it like this: when pride comes, then grace leaves. We lose the power or the grace to overcome sin when we're full of pride. And this leads to a fall, to destruction. No wonder pride comes before the fall, as Scripture says. Finally, we have to realize humility, it's an unavoidable choice. That might sound confusing at first, but it says in Matthew 21:44, "And whosoever shall fall on this stone," meaning Christ, "shall be broken. But on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder." So if we humble ourselves, it does break down our pride, and that can be painful. But if God has to ultimately humble us, it will be a crushing blow and it will be eternal. We have to choose to humble ourselves in this life to become like Christ. And so in that sense, humility is inevitable, but ultimately it's a joyful thing if we choose to do it and not wait for God to do it later. Scripture says every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. So let's choose humility today and bow our knee and confess with our tongues today that Jesus is Lord, not us. That's humility. Thanks so much for joining today.